This is a real story that actually happened in the history of the 20th century, where 9 friends ended up meeting an unimaginable death caused by an unknown factor. This is a story whose case remains unsolved to this day, despite the advancements of mankind. In the cold winter of 1959, a group of 9 friends, all experienced hikers, set out on a trip in the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. The group was led by a young man named Igor Dyatlov. His name would later be linked to one of the most puzzling and scary mysteries ever. The other members of the group were also students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, and they were all excited for the challenging trip ahead. The hike started on January 27th, and everything seemed to go well in the beginning. The group made steady progress despite the difficult weather conditions. According to the detailed diaries they kept and the numerous photographs they took along the way, they were very happy and excited. On January 31st, the group reached the edge of a highland area and prepared for the climb. The next day they began to move through the pass, but they faced worsening weather conditions, including snowstorms and decreased visibility. They lost their direction and deviated west, up towards the top of Kholat Syakhl, meaning Dead Mountain. On February 1st, the group decided to stop and set up camp on the slopes of the mountain. They pitched their tent on an exposed slope rather than moving 1.5 kilometers down to a forested area that would have offered some shelter from the harsh elements. It's believed that they did this to practice camping on a mountain slope, and perhaps to avoid losing the altitude they had gained. That night, something happened that caused the group to flee their tent in a state of panic. They ran out into the freezing cold, wearing only their sleeping clothes, which was highly unusual for experienced hikers. The temperatures were far below freezing, and the wind was strong. After that, there was no sign where the hikers went or what happened to them. Are they safe or not? When the hikers didn't return as scheduled, their families became worried and demanded a search and rescue operation. Several days later, searchers found their abandoned tent on the slope of Kholat Syakhl. The tent was badly damaged and had been cut open from the inside, suggesting that the hikers had tried to escape quickly. Then the searchers found the bodies of the hikers scattered around the campsite. Some were found at the edge of the nearby forest, near the remains of a small fire. Others were found in a ravine further away from the tent. The condition of the bodies was both bizarre and terrifying. 2 of the hikers had fractured skulls, 2 had major chest fractures, and 1 woman was missing her tongue, eyes, and parts of her lips. Despite these severe injuries, there were no signs of a struggle or any other people around. Even more chilling, some of the hikers' clothes contained traces of radiation. The injuries were consistent with a force greater than that of a human, yet there was no external damage to the bodies, as if they had been subjected to extreme pressure. The Soviet authorities conducted an investigation but could not come to a definitive conclusion. They attributed the deaths to a compelling natural force, but what that force was, they couldn't say. The case was closed, leaving more questions than answers. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains an unsolved mystery. Various theories have been proposed over the years. Some believe it was an avalanche that forced the hikers to flee their tent, while others suggest secret military tests or experiments gone wrong. Some think it could have been a wild animal attack, or even a UFO encounter. But none of these theories can fully explain all the strange details of the case. The story of the Dyatlov Pass continues to haunt and terrify, a grim reminder of the unknown forces that can lurk in the wilderness. The mystery of what happened to those 9 hikers on that cold, lonely mountain slope remains one of the most chilling and unsolved mysteries in history.